Okay, hello and welcome to the 2015 two-player print and play contest, brought to you by Board Game Geek. And today is the third video in the series where we're here with Tom. Tom, introduce yourself.
Hey
And
guys, I'm Tom Hardy, and I'm actually from New York, but currently I live in India, and I got into the board game design about a year ago, and I've been designing P&P games since. And
what
so
game have you brought to the table, to the contest?
my game is called as Powerlords, Arena of the Mystics, and it's a fantasy game about four monstrous kind of creatures who I just created. Well, I just searched for their images and that's all I got. And those monsters are kind of fighting with each other in limited space with using spells and whatnot. And they're using fire, water, wind, and earth energies to power up their attacks. And different kinds of monsters have very special abilities where they can be able to defend um, the other monsters' attacks. So it's basically fantasy monsters fighting.
So now you are really focused in on not making this a read 'em card, to make a strong effort to make this streamlined, and tell us a little bit about how this game is streamlined. What are your unique mechanics that are people are going to really want to print this game out and check out?
Okay, so first off, I've started with the stats. Basically, it's kind of in many combat games that I've played. Stats are basically measured by huge player boards. So I've tried to make this game as much component light as possible. I mean, I've tried to make it as easily printable as possible. So there's no player board in this. So the stats are tracked by four dice that you keep in front of you, and two of them you roll, and two of them are permanent. So these dice kind of track your health, your power, your focus, and everything. And in this game, you're actually going to be moving on different types of cards that are placed in front of you as a tableau. And every card is a different terrain. So, and on each terrain, you can gain energy of that type. So for example, like if you're on fire terrain, you can gain fire energy. And you can use that energy to learn attacks or perform attacks. And not only that, and you can't, I mean, the attacks don't have like a huge amount of text on them that tells them what they do. The attacks basically just have a combat value, and as much energy you put on them, you can say that I'm using this attack with this amount of energy cubes on them. That much their combat value gets higher, and the stronger the attacks become. And
Okay, so it's streamlined, and so the focus is more about the interactivity of these unique mechanics, right? So the board of claiming, placing terrain tile, or no, terrain cards, and
or
down, and then deciding which card's going down for the next terrain, and collecting, having a decision on those resources.
And it's also kind of player interaction going on because when you learn attacks, basically from the top of your deck, you have to draw three cards face up, three attack cards face up, and put them down. And on each round, and in this game, like a round lasts for a lot of turns, right? So each round, you and your opponent kind of bid to see what attacks you can get. So you place your energy on that type on the three types of attacks. The one that you want the most, you place your energy on that attack. But if your opponent places more energy on that attack by the end of the round, he gets that attack and you don't. And but your energy goes to waste anyway. So
Okay, and now what about X, Y position? Do you have dudes on the map, or is this more of a meta game, or not meta, but more of a not a visual battle of XY position on the cards?
No, no, I don't have cubes on the map. It's the map is basically to for movement first, then it's for what type of terrain you're on, and then lastly is also important because you have every attack has its range, so how long an attack can travel to reach an opponent. Like say for example, 10 spaces. Oh no, that's too much. 3 spaces or 2 spaces. So if your attack's not in range, you may not attack with that card.
That is the way to go about it. I bet you know by now that your design decisions are leading you into some really cool problems to solve and some really unique scenarios with your
Thank you.
design based in mechanics.
Thank you. Yeah, I basically try to focus on how I come up with these mechanics is I just imagine what it would be like in a real kind of fight where these monsters are fighting and what they must be going through in that scenario, and I just try to simulate it in the form of and put it in my components and make the mechanics.
So you made this secondary effort, or which is primary actually, to marry it to theme. All the type of actions, um, and the constraints, design constraints based on theme, right?
Yep, I set myself some constraints about design before I start making a game. Like, what am I aiming for in this game? Am I trying to make a huge game with a lot of theme and components, and it should be a lot of tactic and strategic based, or am I making a lighter or less components kind of just kind of casual game you can play with your family. So I set all my mechanics and as well as theme on that. I first decide the theme. So if it's kind of like a fighting kind of theme or a heavy theme, I usually go for the big games.
Knowing that there's no design completed yet, can we check out your prototype cards briefly to get everybody kind of anxious about the future of the game?
Yep, they're not very attractive, but here they
Uh,
are.
us designers doesn't matter. We just are interested in
Yep.
puzzle.
So okay. These are basically Monopoly cards that I got. I brought this Monopoly in India, and over there, probably, I don't know if they sell every copy like that, but they have blank backs. So I just use them to
Cool.
get my cards. And a blue card is a water action card. So I can actually show you the slots where you can place the cubes. So basically, if you can look closely over here. These are map cards or the arena cards, and as you can see, they're square grids over here. So this is a fire terrain, this is a wind terrain, so you can move on them, and they're basically placed like that next to each other, and your lords move on them.
So it's not a single movement. There, it looks like you have multiple
Yep,
movements on a single card. Okay.
yep. It's actually a square grid, and it kind of connects to each other.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that looks intriguing. Um, so from there, you have you have a lot of components to represent returning water to your hand.
Yep. So energy cubes, basically, if you can, I don't know if you can see the different spots over here with fire. These
Yep.
are just spots to put your energy cubes on. And how much energy cubes it's needed is needed to gain this, learn this attack is based over here. So on a turn, you can only put as many energy cubes as represented on that row. So for in the
Okay.
first turn, you can only put one, and then if your opponent puts one, you're gonna have to put two in the second turn, or your opponent will take that card. And this is basically the combat value.
Oh,
And another thing is sometimes attacks are not just of one particular type. So for example, this one is water and wind attack. So it's represented by two circles. I'll make the print and play more attractive. Uh,
okay. Cool.
so there are different combination of types of attacks.
Ah,
And
so what's the process of claiming a card? You have to commit it down to your own tableau, and then over turns get the resources, and then eventually have the right to acquire it.
yep, so it's not that hard to claim a card actually. There are three cards placed face up in every round that you and your opponent both can see. They're common to you and your opponent. And then you always have some amount of energy cubes with you because it's actually not that hard to gain energy if you're on that terrain. You just have to perform a gain action and you gain a lot of cubes, and you have to place your cubes on those cards on the slots that I mentioned, and whoever completes the slot gains the attack, and the other one's cubes are wasted. And you keep gaining attacks, like, but you don't gain a lot of attacks because you that's not the only thing you do in the game, right? You also
Right.
have to defend the attacks from other players, and there are also AI players, as I mentioned in the thread, like automated Powerlords. They keep attacking you, so they have this. I have this mechanic where two players are actually automated players, and they have very limited rules to them, but they move, and basically what they do is just attack you and your opponent. And every round you can set a target for an AI player. So let's say my AI player is the water guy. Um, I
Okay.
forgot his name, the Aqua Unisaur. So you'd set a target for that player from a random draw, and he keeps attacking that player until that player, destroys that player. So that they can be kind of annoying, but yeah, you still have to defend these attacks and
Okay.
attack yourself.
All right. So you have to defend is a big part of making sure you retain your
You,
energy. Okay. Uh, all right.
and
That's great.
and I forgot to mention that in many games, fire, ice, and elemental kind of games, so many games, it's kind of a rock, paper, scissors mechanism where fire beats water and water beats uh, earth and whatnot. But here
Just
it's actually kind of a race for supremacy of those elements. So each successful attack you land on an opponent, you get some supremacy points, and your basic attacks of your type get powered up as much as the amount of supremacy points you have. So you want to go in and attack to get your attacks powered up.
so you were saying that that was a solution you had for three players, but it also plays a large part in the two-player game, which is what the game will be judged on. But you're saying supremacy points are going to be playing a big part of it.
Yep. So in a two-player, they are going to be a part of it because there are two AI players, as I mentioned. They're going to keep attacking you and your opponent. So sometimes you may as well think, I'm just going to sit back and let these AI players. Sometimes the AI players target just one player, and if that player is your opponent, you can just sit back and get your opponent beat up. But to find a solution for that, I created that mechanic where you get supremacy points for each successful attack you land, and your attacks get powered up. So you actually want to get involved in the fight.
Does the AI represent? Could the AI harm the other player? in regard to making it easier for a secondary attack by player two?
Well, the AI are basically not very programmed, but they just at the beginning of every round you have to draw a card, Powerlords character cards. So you have to draw a card, and whichever card it is, the AI will move towards that player and attack that player for that round. Now, if your luck is bad, maybe both the AIs will come and attack you, but if your luck is good, the AIs can attack. One AI can attack you, one AI will attack the opponent, or them both can attack the opponents. It's not very fixed whom the AI will go after.
Okay, so it's mechanics that determine that, or maybe even random mechanics that determine that.
Yeah.
But the result of which, would that conceivably make it? Is this a battle between two players to where you're trying to eliminate someone's health? Player
Yes,
elimination? Okay.
it's not a complete two-player battle, but you're also so there are two ways to victory. Basically, you can eliminate both the AI players, and if your opponent's alive, but both the AI players are eliminated by you, if you're the one to land the last attack, then you win automatically. But the easier way to win is just eliminate your opponent. So it's kind of a battle, but in the way you also have to make sure that you don't get attacked by and you can attack the AI players. So you don't know exactly what your opponent's strategy is. Is he going to attack you or is he going to attack the AI players?
Okay. And of course, the caveat is that it results in some fame points, worst either case scenario. Um,
You,
so, what's your experience like in the contest so far? Have you ever joined one before?
I've joined the 18 card contest before, but the two-player contest, I've just spectate. I've just been a spectator over the last contest, and it seemed fun. So this is my first year, and yeah, so far it's been good. I mean, I've the Nate is kind of is cool. He hosts the contest, and he hosts it really nice. So
Yeah,
yeah, so far it's been
Nate
great.
is a very strong social presence in the
Yeah.
PG design community, um, and we appreciate him hosting this two-player contest.
Yep,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah. Um, so, what is your design goals with Power Lords?
Um,
What are you planning? Just
uh, my design goals will be firstly to make the game thematic. I want the game to be as thematic as possible to because I dig kind of those thematic Ameritrash games. So I want the game to simulate the theme very well. I want the players to feel that fight and that aggression in the match. And next, of course, as I mentioned, I want to keep the components limited. I don't want to go into player boards and mats where you have to get a bigger box to fit the components and loads of printing done. And I want to keep it a 54 card deck, possibly, and a limited number of cubes and dice. So that's all I wanted to keep it. And uh, yep, those
that's
those two are the main goals that I'm trying to achieve here.
and then maybe also get some more playtesters involved in on the
Yep,
your
yep,
design.
yeah. For the contest, my goals are getting this game uh, approachable to as many playtesters out there as I can. So I just, well, I want to get my game be playtested by anyone out there. And of course, if I end up getting a prize, it's awesome as always.
Well, there is a potential here that you have created a game that starts synchronous and their pass becomes more asynchronous thematic design as they go along. They build up a specific path as they go. That's pretty cool. With that being unknown and the path being able to be changed based on you know certain factors.
Good. Yeah, I've tried to make it. I've also tried to make it as asymmetric as possible. So as the game goes on, each Power Lord will have their special abilities. Also, each Power Lord will have kind of energy generation numbers. I'm calling it. So they will decide what kind of energy the Power Lord will get more. So like the Fire Power Lord will get more fire energy, so they can specialize in their type of energy.
Well, what about your choice design, your personal design choices on someone being very well successful and focusing on a single path versus your design influence on diversity using multiple types? I mean, obviously there won't be a no, multiple type creature, um, is there?
Like
But
uh, if
what's your
a
ideas
player
behind
needs to master in his skill, or get all of those attacks and mix them up. Like, are you asking?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I'm asking, what was your design decision on those 2 points? Whether you're like lucky and you get real deep in a single path of a specific type, or whether you have embraced the, op, the
it's in my
the
playtest
bonus
actually.
numbers.
In my playtests, I've actually tried both ways, but so far the single pathway has worked the most uh, prominently. But I think I'm aiming for both. If players choose, they can also take a single path and master in their own element and lead to victory. Or if they choose, they can actually also gain their different kinds of powers, energies, and master in all of them. So uh, as you know, the supremacy goes up as you attack. So that type of element's supremacy goes up, right?
Right,
So if water power lord attacks, water supremacy goes up. So if you're mastering all types of elements, if a water power lord wins, you also get an advantage because you have a water attack. So
oh, okay.
that
So
is
you're are you tying supremacy to a type, or is it a supremacy decoupled and generic +1?
No, I'm tying it to the type of the attack. Like if you're a fire power lord and you attack an earth power lord successfully, your supremacy goes one higher, and his supremacy, the earth supremacy goes one lower, and fire supremacy goes one higher. So
Okay.
all fire attacks are more powerful now.
So, were there any other designs that caught your eye? I mean, this one's pretty intriguing. I think a lot of people are going to be interested in it. Were there other designs that you saw in the contest that kind of like got you going as much as your own?
Like before this design, did I think of any other ones?
Right. Did you see any of that kind of like, oh, I've seen that design before, or I've actually had an interest in that, or this one seems pretty intriguing.
Before this, I kind of wanted to make a completely dice game, where it's rolling dice, but with a little amount of strategy and fairly light kind of game, which you can have fun with your family and stuff. But I wanted to make a kind of tournament, like different rounds of dice rolling with. It's kind of a dice war game, sort of like you're attacking with different units, and dice are different units. Where I had that idea once, but then I thought, and then I got this idea, and I just went with this one.
Okay. So, there will be a lot of cubes involved with the design, or will you just
Yeah, yeah. Cubes are involved in the design basically because they need to be placed on the card. So they don't need to be actually cubes. They can be anything, actually crystals or anything you have in abundance in many colors. So probably 8 to 10 different cubes of all energy types,
Yeah.
all four energy types, like red for fire and blue for water.
So I was wondering about the contest in general. Have you seen designs that you were interested in the 2015 contest?
Yep, I was definitely intrigued by Joseph Rapati's role for the tournament. I haven't played it yet, but it seems really awesome. I mean, he is an artist, so his board looks amazing, and it's kind of I think it's I don't know what to call that sport. I forgot the name. Uh, where you're on horses and you have it's kind of a knight.
Jousting. Jousting?
Yeah, jousting, right. I forgot the name. It's a jousting tournament, and you have it's a dice game, and you have to roll dice to see who's the ultimate jouster. It's almost like the game that I had in mind before this. Almost though. It's
So it reminds you of an earlier design. That's exciting then. Um,
it,
is there anything you'd like to add to anything you would
to
want to mention or add
to my
to
game or just in general.
just in general? Like for instance, maybe when do you feel you'll have the version 1.0 of the rules, a rough draft of the rules up for the design, something like that?
That's actually a question for me too, but I will get on it right away after I, fix my final rules. So I think in about couple weeks I should have just before the deadline, and in mid-April, I suppose I will have the print and play as well as the rules up and my work in progress thread, and I think I will make it publicly available for playtesting, and hopefully it will be playtested.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, we wish, we hope for the best for you in the contest.
Oh,
And
thank you, thank you.
yeah, well,
Yeah, I hope you do well.
Tom, well, Tom, I think I'm going to wrap this up and
Okay.
look forward to seeing how it fares in the contest.
Yep. Yep. It was nice. It was nice talking to you.
Yeah, very
Or,
nice meeting you, Tom.
nice
Yep. And
to meet you.
anything else you would like to add? I'm just kind of thinking
Um,
if we forgot
well,
it.
I think this contest I've been spectating for the last year, and I've really known that in this contest all sorts of games are included. Some of them are very, they're almost like they're ready for the Kickstarter, like
Very
some of
polished.
them are very polished, and some of them are basically just a prototype. But all of them get involved, and basically, this too. The restrictions are very less. It just needs to be two players, so there's a wide gaming audience. So that's what kind of caught me and made me enter this contest. And I really hope to play as many games in this contest as I can,
Well,
because many of them seem interesting. Even Snow White and Rose Red, the game
that's
by
right.
I think it's Caroline's game. Yep.
Yeah.
So that caught my eye as well. That seems interesting. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I think I was inspired enough to actually work on these videos to, you know, help bring more attention outside the contest and on in, bring it on in. So
I hope
really
you do.
appreciate
I hope
that.
this does help other YouTubers or other people get involved in the contest.
Yeah, and the fact that you brought came on, appreciate it so much. Um,
Yeah, no problem. I love this.
yeah.
All right.
Okay, Tom, I'm gonna end that, and thanks for joining us. I hope to see you next time on the 2015 two-player print and play contest for Born Geek.
Okay, thank you so much for having me.
All
Right.
right.
Bye bye.